Hello, welcome to a lunchtime edition of Mornings with Stanley. I was going to do a morning edition this morning, and then I decided I needed to iron a couple of shirts. I used to take my shirts to the cleaners, but when the pandemic started, I stopped, and I was kind of spending a lot of money on it, so I had stopped and spent my money elsewhere. I don't think I saved any money. I just spent it other places. So maybe I did, because I would have still spent it in other places. But I haven't started going back to the cleaners. I probably will one of these days. But I ironed a couple of shirts. Most of my shirts don't need to be ironed, but a few do. I think I have to iron one more for the funeral tomorrow. And anyway, I was going to go to the sanctuary and put hymnals back. We haven't been using hymnals, but they're wanting the hymnals in the for the funeral tomorrow, which I think is fitting for Sue, who passed away. She didn't like the screens in the sanctuary, though she did help pay for them. And she and her husband, Bob, who passed away a couple years ago. And she would never look at the screens when the music was up there, the song lyrics. She used her hymnal. So, and I respect that. And if you know how to sing, know how to read music, it helps to have the notes there in front of you. So I definitely respect that. I think that's one thing that we've missed when we just have the words up there and people aren't looking at their hymnals, is we miss the harmony singing. And of course we have lost that anyway, unless you sing in the choir. Not a whole lot of that going on anyway out there. Though some people do. Church of Christ does it better than anybody. Of course, they don't use any musical instruments. You go into one of their services. I've been to a couple of funerals, and it's like, oh my goodness, everybody sings loud, and everybody sings their part, and it's really wonderful. Anyway, so I was going to do all that today to put the hymnals back, and then a couple of my church members did it yesterday and finished today, and got everything ready. All this stuff. I was going to go over there and try and get everything ready and presentable, and my church members just do it because they're good, wonderful people. So we are going to live stream it tomorrow because some people just aren't comfortable coming into places with a lot of people, and I have a feeling there might be a lot of people. It's probably going to be the most people in that sanctuary in a year, so we'll see. I'm sure it'll be a little bit down from her husband Bob's funeral a couple of years ago. Just because of the pandemic. I know that some family members, extended family members of theirs, aren't going to be there. Some other church members I know aren't able to be there. And some people are choosing not to be there because of the pandemic. And we will be wearing masks, and so much fun. I'm just thinking one of these days it's going to be over. I've scheduled my second shot a week from today. This time next week, I will be fully vaccinated. It's exciting. Day before Good Friday. So hopefully, a lot of people I've heard have had a reaction to the second shot, even if they didn't have a reaction to the first shot. And so I'll be doing our Good Friday service under the influence of shot number 2. Let me get rid of Stanley, and I can go on and do the reading today. We are still in the Psalms, Psalm 38 this time, verses 2 and 3. No, 3 and 4. Let me double check. I shouldn't go by memory. 3 and 4. Yes. There is no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There is no health in my bones because of my sin. For my iniquities have gone over my head. They weigh like a burden too heavy for me. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. And now our reading from Christian Maturity by E. Stanley Jones. This is Thursday of week 47. Right thinking and right emotions. We have emphasized that the secret of physical health is receptivity. God is life and love. And if I have learned how to breathe in life and love, just as I breathe air into my lungs, then every cell of my body is bathed in that healing life and love. God's life absorbs all my tiredness, and God's love all my conflicts, which produce the tiredness. I am fresh in Him. When I replied to the lady mentioned yesterday that I thought the secret of my health was receptivity, she replied, yes, but isn't it also right thinking and right emotions? And I replied, yes, because if I have wrong thinking and wrong emotions, that will block the receptivity automatically. Right thinking and right emotions keep us thinking that keeps within the general sphere of the mind of Jesus. Let me read that sentence again. I think I didn't read it right. I would define right thinking as thinking that keeps within the general sphere of the mind of Jesus. That would mean that my thinking would have to be positive, not negative, appreciative, not critical, creative, not destructive, loving, not hating, moving within law, not asking for exceptions. And right emotions? There's only one criterion for our emotions: love. Love God and love people with no exceptions. That means that all that can fit into love must go. That means that all that cannot fit into love must go. Envy, jealousy, resentments, fear, tensions, self-centeredness, and guilt feelings. And when you let these go, then grace automatically comes in and takes over. In addition to these, what other suggestions have I to offer those who would be healthy and vital? Well, I take exercises that last 10 minutes before going to bed. That time is my own, so I take 3 exercises, each one 30 times. This takes the congested blood out of my brain, distributes it throughout my body, and I go off to sleep relaxed. No crutches like sleeping pills needed. When an inwardly battered person arose from her knees after surrendering her conflicts and herself to Christ, she opened her handbag, took out a flask of liquor, a gold cigarette case, and a bottle of sleeping pills with the quiet remark, I won't need these things now. And she didn't. Grace had taken over. Here's our prayer for today. O grace of God, take full possession of me, mind, spirit, and body, and let me live, move, and have my being within the sphere of grace. For when I am in grace, I am in health and life and peace. Amen. And our affirmation for the day: I think thoughts of health, feel feelings of health, and will the purposes of health. Jesus is Lord.